Now, we're going to speak up better than normal. Well, a very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David. And believe it or not, we have some sunshine. It hasn't been sunny all day. We've had the occasional shower, but Seeker has arrived. They promised to bring some dry weather, and sunshine it is. 19 degrees, not exactly tropical. Flat bar though, 1007.4, and only about 59% relative humidity, so that's a plus for those people who were finding Fiji a bit hot and steamy. And 45% cloud cover, and how nice it is to see the blue sky. Well, Seeker was first on my list, and they have arrived, got an email in, and interestingly, they saw 2 humpback whales yesterday, not too far off the coast of New Zealand, so that's pretty interesting. I don't think we've heard that before down this close, but mind you, this is getting late in the month, isn't it? So that's news from Seeker, people getting there at last. So our next on the list is Colima, Gulf Harbour. Nothing heard from Colima. Let's try Laris. Actually, good copy on me, or from you actually, Tim. I hope it's good copy the other way. It seems to have been a bit problematical on this frequency at this time of the night, but you're moving into a good area. So go ahead, over.
Yes, again, it's better tonight, so I can hear you reasonably well. Okay, so our position at the moment is 24 degrees decimal 08 plus, 175 degrees, sorry, I'm saying this all wrong, 24 degrees 08 south, 175 degrees 48 east. Much saltier conditions today. We've got 15 to 18 knots from the south-southeast. We're beating into it on a compass heading of 200. There's about 90% cover at the moment. Sea is moderate with a southerly flow of about 2.5 meters. Over.
Wow, that swell got up pretty quickly, didn't it? Okay, Laris is at 24 degrees 08 south, 175 degrees 48 east, with about 15 to 18 knots from the south-southeast, so bashing into it a bit on a course of 200 true. 90% cloud cover, moderate seas, 2.5 metre swell from the south, so that's not all that comfortable for your boat. Here's David.
Yeah, well, good afternoon to you, and I'm looking at the satellite image right now, and a lot of very high cloud. We've got a jet stream that's running northwest to southeast, and the bulk of it is, put it into perspective, a little bit to the south of New Caledonia, and then if you get down to Raoul Island, part of the Kermadex, it affects the Kermadex as well. So you can see the slant on that. In terms of wind for tomorrow, really not much, I'm afraid. Enjoy the wind that you've got right now, because moving you just a little bit toward New Zealand. Yeah, I'm seeing basically about 5 knots, maybe 8 knots, and the direction is, for the most part, well, it's variable wind, actually. There's that little high that we talked about yesterday. It's a little bit of anticyclonic spin around there, so it's really hard to say which direction the wind is going to come from. It's just very, very light and variable is the best thing I can say, and that's about lunchtime. Now, if some of these clouds that you will see or are seeing, if you do happen to be under some of these really, really large, what we would call cumulus congestus, that very easily could turn into a thunderstorm very briefly. But there's a lot of breaks in this, So it's really hard. It's not anything you could predict. Looking at the satellite imagery, I put it on. Uh, I put it so that you can see movement in the upper atmosphere, and breaks, clouds, that kind of a thing. So probably a light day tomorrow. Over.
Thank you, David. Yeah, that's in line with our expectations. Looks like a gentle day tomorrow, but we're going to press on because we want to make some progress for a planned arrival next week. So anyway, thanks for your help, and Lars will be on the side.
Okay, I will clear with Laris, and I should have got these in a bit of a different order, but I'm going to go now to Zoomax, and ask the question, where are you headed to? Because it looks like you might be coming to Auckland. Zoomax, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Rewa.
Oh, hang on, David. Zoomax, just stand by. We've got Rewa on frequency first. Rewa, go ahead now then, David.
Oh, sorry about that. I thought you were calling me. This is Rewa. Our position is 22 degrees 55 south, 176 degrees 21 east. We are making 7 knots motor sailing, course of 190 magnetic, and it's 12 knots, 12 to 15 knots out of the southeast, 1 meter seas, 100% cloud cover with occasional rain.
Okay, all copied. Good signal from you tonight, David. Rewa is at 2255 south, 17621 east. Motor sailing 7 knots, 190 magnetic course, 12 to 15 knots from the southeast with 1 meter seas, I presume, from the south. 100% cloud cover with the occasional rain. Boy, you might as well be here. Here's David.
Well, from what I could see, almost the same thing tomorrow. You're also caught up in this band of cloud. I call it jet stream cloud that's, again, running from the northwest to southeast. So you'll still be in that, I think. I've moved you a couple of degrees toward New Zealand. Winds about the same as what you've got, maybe 12 to 15, and direction southeast. So there you go. Over.
Rewa,
did you copy, David?
Roger. Still very faint, very faint, but I understood not to be much different than what you were saying to Laura.
Roger. Yeah, there must be something on your boat, I suspect. Just check the squelch, what you've done with the squelch. Maybe lights or charging units or whatever, but there should be a better signal from me because I'm putting out about 450 watts. So that's on my meter here going up the spout. So just check what might be causing problems on the boat. Folks, that's why it's a good idea to check your radio before you take off. If there's something wrong then without everything operating, then you know that there is a problem there that needs sorting. Okay, we'll clear with Rewa, and just whilst we're almost in that area, Rubicon sent in an email. They are currently at 2129 and 17633 on a course of 182 true, 5.1 knots. And they commented last night that they had a beautiful clear night, dark, and the stars, they reckoned it was almost like going through the galaxy. Well, it must have been a smooth, lovely night. Okay, we'll try again for Zoomax, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Zoomax. I didn't have quite a live copy, but I think some of the comments from David, and I will then share what I understood with David from Rhea afterwards. So I will give you my position. How do you copy?
Very, very good. Go ahead, over.
Okay, so we are at 2 degrees 57 east. We are on a course of 185. The speed is 6 knots, and we are sailing. We just started sailing again half an hour ago because the wind now is picking up, and it's 8 to 10 knots from the southeast. We have 2 meters swell, and the sky is about 70% cloud cover. Over.
Good copy, Anna. And one question, where are you going to check in? Are you coming down to Auckland? Over.
No, we will be heading to Marsden Cove. Over.
Okay, got that. Marsden Cove. Just looked as if you were quite a ways east. Okay, Zumax 2324 south, 17657 east, on a course of 185 true, 6 knots. Now sailing. The wind has picked up about half an hour ago, 8 to 10 knots from the southeast, 2 meters swell, and about 70% cloud cover. Anything from you? Yep.
Yep, about the same thing tomorrow, Zumax, about the same thing tomorrow. Maybe a little bit more cloud as you head toward New Zealand. You'll be part of the jet stream cloud that I talked about with the other couple of yachts previously. Pretty good conditions. There you go for tomorrow. Over.
Okay.
That said, I have very poor copy, so I stand by and I will share information with David later. Over.
Roger, Roger. Hopefully Pico has good copy on us. Pico, Gulf Harbour.
Clear, this is Pico. How do you copy me?
Loud and clear too, Andreas. If you weren't around, I think there was something wrong with our radio. It is amazing what can make interference on board these days. So go ahead, and how are you and Sandra going? Over.
Oh, we had yesterday very light winds. The swell arrived us earlier than the wind, so we had a very hard time light wind sailing and decided later to use the engine for a moment and charge the battery. So, and Pico is now at 22 degrees, 24 minutes south, 175 degrees, 22 minutes east. We are sailing on a course of a cloud of 220 degrees with a speed of a cloud of 5.4 knots. And yeah, cloud cover nearly 100%, raining, and we have currently winds around between 10 and 15 knots from the south to the south to the southeast.
Same tomorrow.
Okay, well, Pico is going to have the same again tomorrow. 2224 south, 17522 east. Now sailing on a course of 220 true at 5.4, 100% cloud cover with rain, 10 to 15 knots from the south, sort of backing a little bit to south-southeast. Here's David.
Yeah, just curious, how is my voice coming over on your radio? My voice, am I loud, clear, or not? Over.
You're loud. Clear, I would not say. It sounds like an old telephone microphone. You know, these Caracol microphones, like a little bit clipped, I would say.
I must pay attention to where he's holding. I think he's got such a deep voice, and it's an ICOM that we're using, and it does favour a woman's voice over a man's voice. But I'm going to watch where he holds the microphone relative to his mouth, because he's got other people telling him that he's not understood. And the trouble is, he wears hearing aids, and he thinks he's quite loud, which of course is the problem with a hearing aid for the person that's got them. So I'm just going to give him the microphone again to see where it is.
Okay, right now I am putting my mouth about 2 to 3 inches from the microphone, and I'm wondering if that has made any difference to the clarity. Over.
For me, this microphone sounds a little bit more clear.
Aha, so it's a little bit of where he's holding it rather than because we can't really change the icon. Well, actually, I bought a new ICOM radio microphone for the boat. I might swap them around for this, but anyway, don't know that microphones wear out, but well, it's quite possible. It's pretty old technology, isn't it, Andreas? Okay, well, that's you're going to have that bit of wind again tomorrow, same direction by the sound of it, so I guess you'll be dealing with that, and well, the westing doesn't hurt because of what happens later, so sounds like all is well on board Pico, and yes, I know if you could just pass on some of the weather to the others that are not hearing very well, that would be good. Over.
Yeah, I can try. My memory should record it. This would help.
Yeah, it's a pity they can't listen to the streaming when they're at sea. Oh well, they'll get what they'll get and they'll deal with it. All right, you and Sandra have a good night. I'm just going to try again for Colima, Gulf Harbour. No, we seem to have lost them, which is a shame because they are not on AIS. So I hope all is well. They're probably way too close now to pick up anyway. So is there anybody else for Gulf Harbour Radio?
Gulf Harbour Radio, Gulf Harbour, this is Somerset.
Oh, good evening, Paul. Finally, you're back in a place that we can copy you. So where are you now? Over.
We are still stuck in the Brisbane River, but we plan to leave on Monday, just before that strong southerly winds.
Okay, yes. Boy, they're having some interesting weather down there, that's for sure. Okay, oh well, we'll pick you up again on Monday. I think next week will be our last week, but of course we'll have you on the ham radio net anyway, following your very interesting trip down to Tasmania and around.
Northerlies on Monday.
Northerlies definitely on Monday, David said, so that will push you in the right direction. Over.
Yeah, roger that. Still very surprised how many people are on passage at the moment. It's good to hear that you're still nice and busy. Over.
Yeah, we didn't normally expect to be here this late in the season, but some of them just couldn't drag themselves away from Fiji, and the fact that we had some pretty snarly weather here didn't really aid much for any attraction to come this direction anyway. So it's hopefully going to improve, although not for a few days here. It's really difficult trying to get the boat ready to go anywhere with the rain on and off, but anyway, everything is growing well in people's gardens, so that's what's happening here. And a bit of news for those Kiwis out there. Not very good news. In fact, yesterday one of the Indian workers at a dairy chased a guy that stole the cash register out the shop and got stabbed several times and was killed. So the community is not very happy about what's happening with the lack of good policing and good court work to follow up. So it's pretty sad when those sorts of things happen in New Zealand. We just are not used to that sort of thing. Okay, well, we'll clear with Somerset, and hopefully they will get out of the Brisbane River to get going on Monday. So have your last good weekend at the Big Smoke there, and we will check in next time, and certainly on Monday. Okay, is there anybody else? Oh, well, good evening to you, Max. Of course I copy. Very lovely signal, and you will be enjoying the last of your hot, steamy weather. Over.
Yeah, very copy also you. Very good. Yeah, we
Well, I wish you'd send some of that blue sky here. Yeah, I guess it's the last days for you guys. So greetings to Ali as well. And yeah, we think of you quite a lot, actually. I had told you on email I had the wonderful talk to Marina and Diego, which was fantastic. And yeah, of course, every time I stock up the boat with something Italian, I think of our Italian friends. But you will be pleased to know we will not run out of beer on board this year, Max. Over.
Very good, very good. Remember, a lot of Prosecco board is good for everything. Over.
Actually, I haven't got any Prosecco yet, so yeah, I better stock up a bit on that as well. We will have that Christmas Day anyway, so there you go. All right, no, lovely signal from you there, so all is well radio-wise on Y2K, so thank you for calling in. Over.
Ciao, guys. Ciao, and thank you very much also for everything. Ciao, David, too. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Okay, it's good to have the radio to make contact with people, isn't it? Is there anybody else for us before we shut it down? I think I heard somebody there, but it might be somebody on a different frequency. Does anyone hear a light copy? No, it must be something else from far away. So I will shut her down from our perspective tonight. Good evening, everybody. Have a very good night, especially those at sea. And the frequency is now available for the Trivia Net, I think it is, taking over from here. Cheers, everybody. Gulf Harbour Radio is clear.